Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another video of family history with Chris. I had just found someone in my line, Sarah Ann Berry here, that appears that uh, she and her husband were a part of the Martin Handcart Company. I I thought this was pretty cool, so let's see our relationship. She is my fourth great grandmother on my dad's side. So that's cool. Um, I thought it was my mom's side, but apparently it's my dad's side. James Lay and Sarah Lay. And it's one thing I thought was interesting. Okay, we've got history here about people on the handcart company, but there's not a whole lot of detail of who they are or whatnot. And I think that's how it goes when the further back you go in time. It's like you can find records. It's like, yeah, they did this on this time. They were here at this time. Uh, and I believe that's kind of what it's like here. But let's read this. This is interesting. James Lay, who's the husband, 11th born 11th December 1798 of Manchester, Lancashire, England, in Beswick, between 14th and 31st of October 1856. So I think it's that because you find different records to say, oh, he died at this time, or maybe it didn't really tell you what day he died. So it's like, well, he could have been here or here. So uh, at least you got a year and a month. Sarah M. Berry Lee, born 31st of July, 1798 in Holme, Lancashire, England, uh, or 19th of January, 1800. That's a couple of years difference there. Kirkheaton, Yorkshire, England. Two different places. Can't be born in two different places, so it's got to be one or the other. Died 4th of October, 1856, near Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Martin Handcart Company. I've heard about the Martin Handcart Company in church, so this puts it a little more personal. It's like, oh yeah, I've got people that were in the Martin Handcart Company. So after joining the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Manchester, England, James and Sarah Lee courageously decided to emigrate to America with the other saints, longing to be with their Zion in the longing to be in their Zion in the Rocky Mountains of Utah. They left a comfortable apartment and James' profession of working in a silk mill. They sailed on the ship Horizon under the direction of Edward Martin, who also became the captain of their handcart company upon reaching Iowa City, Iowa. Sarah and James walked and pulled their handcart 300 miles from Iowa City to Florence, Nebraska between July 28 and August 22nd of that year. The more difficult part of their journey that lay ahead, however, was the next 1,000 miles of plains and mountains between Florence and the Zion of their dreams in Salt Lake City, Utah. Sarah survived in the first 6 weeks of this part of the journey, completely worn out and probably suffering from dysentery. She died the same day as two others, as recorded by her fellow traveler, John Jacques, 4th of October. Sarah Lay, wife of James Lay, Manchester, worn out, died 2 miles east of Scottsbluff at 12:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. Sarah may have died while sitting on a rock in her husband's arms, as the grandson Stephen James Hart remembers the retelling of the story this way. Sarah and James Leigh were separated or sidetracked somehow from the rest of the company. Becoming alarmed at their long absence, search parties were sent to find them. I don't know how long they were lost or how long they searched for them, but when the searchers were about to give up hope finding them, they found him sitting on a rock. Grandfather was leaning forward with his forehead resting on his hands, which were supported by his cane, and grandmother was huddled close behind him, her head resting on his shoulders. A mute testimony of unconquered faith. Their names were reportedly carved on Chimney Rock, which they passed on October 2nd, just 2 days before Sarah's death. It was much colder by the time James Leigh died on October 17th. The Martin Company lightened their handcart load by discarding and burning bedding and clothing. They desperately tried to hurry on with their large company, but 2 days later to ford they had to ford the icy and deep North Platte River as the first winter storms descended on them. They made little progress the next few days and had all but given up. The first rescuers found them stranded by the river on October 28th. And then there's a document that you can go see. James and Sarah would not be in the Salt Lake Valley to welcome their daughter's family when they immigrated in 1864. Sarah Ann Leigh Hart, age 31, was a highly skilled tailoress and had received a diploma for this work. She and her husband worked hard to save money for their own journey, but they were still short, so Sarah Ann's husband Samuel C. Hart stayed in tune in England to work a little longer, while Sarah and her 4 children emigrated in 1864. Due to persecution, Samuel did not stay in England as long as planned and soon joined his family in Utah. There are some similarities uh, regarding Sarah's immigration to that of her parents 8 years earlier. One of the singing One is the singing of a song around the nightly campfires that was also very popular among the Martin Company members. It was included in the 1840 Manchester hymnal that had been compiled by Wilford Woodruff during his mission to England. It was entitled, O Zion, When I Think of Thee. Sarah probably had sung this hymn with her parents while they were all still together in England. See words to this song included in the art entitled Hope on the fine art right here. Okay. Robert McBride, who was the chorister in the Martin Company, sang the song the night before he died, which was during the same time that James died. Sarah Ann Leigh Hart was not to enjoy being in the valley with her loved parents, but she passed on her faith to the posterity. The legacy left by James and Sarah Leigh is recorded in a little poem that their daughter Sarah Ann loved and often recited. It was written by Sarah Ann's daughter, Martha Hart. When you come to the Red Sea place in your life and you hardly know what to do, when there's no way back and no way ahead, and only one way that's through, then trust in the Lord with the faith supreme till the night the storm is gone. He will still the winds and part the waves when he said to your soul, go on. And then there's some other notes in this, but I just thought that was neat. Uh, a lot of people were in the Martin Handcart Company, and I didn't earlier. I've never really thought about my ancestors in there, but it's like now I know. If you have any memories you'd like to share, anybody in the Martin Handcart Company or any other pioneers, uh, feel free to let me know and let's get the story together. Uh, and we will catch you next time. Thanks.